Gideon and
Yeah, and I have their phone number, so I'm going to give them a call.
okay, so this is September 10th, 2020, 7 p.m. This is the meeting of the Historical Commission of the city known as the Town of Watertown. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law chapter 30A, section 20, relating to the 2020 COVID-19 emergency, and to avoid group congregation, this meeting will only have remote opportunities for participation with public access provided as listed in the agenda. So welcome everybody. First item that we're going to address is the minutes from the July 9th, 2020 meeting. And just for the commissioners who are on the call, David Russo, Marilyn Roach, Joe Panto, and myself. Does anybody have any comments on the minutes?
This is David. I don't.
I don't either.
Marilyn?
No, I didn't notice anything.
All right, is there a motion?
This is David Russo. I move that the minutes be approved as submitted.
Second?
Marilyn seconds the motion made by David. Joe?
I approve, agree, yay, whatever.
and I vote in favor of the motion as well, so the motion passes.
Tom should be joining hopefully shortly.
Okay, by shortly seconds, or you mean?
Well, he said he was joining. I'm going to call one other person now.
Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda for hearing is public hearing for 15 Bridgham Avenue. And is the petitioner here?
I am, Brian Connaughton.
You can go ahead and present.
Right, so we're just, we've gone through the plans with the town, working with Gideon, Steve Magoon, and Mike Mena. And we've come up with some plans that are acceptable with zoning and within all of the bylaws. And we're now looking to move forward with the project. However, in the existing plans, we plan on keeping the existing infrastructure. However, it was deemed that it will be more than 50% of construction. So it did trigger this meeting. And now we're looking to do a demolition and rebuild with the plans that you see in the packet. It's currently a 1952 ranch that we believe does not have any historical significance that we were able to find or research within the registry and land records. Yeah, here's the packet here.
Okay. Do you have anything further, or do you want to refer to anything?
I don't at this moment. Is there any questions that you guys have for me?
So, Brian, I apologize. That was my mistake in getting this meeting started late. I should have explained how the process would work, and I'll do that now. So
okay.
You make your presentation. Then we ask the commission if any of the commission members have any questions for you about your presentation. At that point, we then ask the public for any comments or questions regarding the project. Once those are answered, we then close the public portion of the hearing where you can see us, but you can't talk to us anymore. And then we go ahead and discuss amongst the commissioners about the project itself, and then we take a vote. So your opportunity to speak is now, unless there's a question asked. Otherwise, whatever you present now is what's presented.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's everything that we have to say at this time, and the plans are in this packet. I think that's been distributed to everyone on this call as well, right?
Yes, we do have the packet.
Okay, great.
Madam Chair, I wanted to acknowledge, I think, oh yeah, Tom, I'm going to rename Tom, but I just wanted to acknowledge that Thomas Malone has joined.
Okay. Was he here for a sufficient amount of the presentation to be able to vote? Gideon?
Yeah,
So is he voting on this project?
he can vote on this project.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to run.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
so
Tom.
does anybody on the commission have any questions for this applicant? And I'll just, I think for ease, I'm going to just run down the names. So Marilyn, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not really.
Okay. David Russo, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I do. I'm looking at the front and east elevation drawings, and I see there's something in the roof, but I can't quite tell what it is, whether it's a dormer or if it's maybe open. Can you help me understand what it is I'm looking at?
On the front, yeah, I'm going to turn to that now. The front east elevation. So what you're looking there, that's just a roofed area. So there's a small deck and there's glass there with access to that deck.
Okay.
So we wanted to put it on the street facing to, keep privacy for neighbors and not have it looking in the back onto neighbors in the rear and side yards.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all from you, David?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me
And,
to stop doing the screen share?
no, that's okay. I'm managing. Tom, if you could unmute yourself, do you have any questions? You need to unmute first.
Oh, here.
Oh, I unmuted him.
Okay,
Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay. Uh, No, I really don't have any questions.
Okay. Joe, do you have any questions?
No questions here. It seems pretty straightforward. Thanks.
Okay, so now this is the portion of the presentation when we open it up to questions from the public or comments from the public. And prior to hearing from anyone who is on with us, we did get a submission by email, which I'm going to read into the record. It's dated September 9th, 2020, addressed to the Watertown Historical Commission. It says, to the Watertown Historical Commission, I'm writing today on behalf of my family, which resides at 77 Holt Street, concerning the demolition of the property at 15 Bridgham Ave. We are immediate neighbors sharing the property line with 15 Bridgham, which been a construction site since March. My husband and I first attended a historical commission hearing in January 2020 when the 63 Holt Street project was brought before the commission. Since then, we have lost 21 mature trees between the two properties, 63 Holt and 15 Bridgham, surrounding our home. Our neighborhood is forever altered by this project, and it will be significantly more so with the approval of the 15 Bridgham project. Please see the included photos. I don't know, as I read this, Gideon, can you put the photos up? This project does not enhance our neighborhood and town. It is quite the opposite. It maximizes every square foot possible of the lot under the current zoning to the financial advantage of the developer. It is depriving our children of open space and greenery and forcing them to live and play indoors for months on end while construction continues. It It is turning our once beautiful neighborhood with tree-lined yards and property lines into towering developments. As I said back in January and continue to wholeheartedly believe, looking at the historical significance of the structure alone is not enough. These lots are linchpins of our neighborhood and have been for almost 70 years. I urge you to not let another developer forever alter our beautiful, unique, and historic Watertown neighborhood. Furthermore, while I understand that the commission does not have oversight over the building plans or construction, it must be said in a public forum that the undue noise and truck traffic, including tractor trailers on a regular basis, that these projects have brought into a once quiet neighborhood is far worse than we would have ever imagined or predicted. Amid a pandemic, working from home full-time and schooling my young children 5 and 7 from home, there have been many beautiful spring and summer days when we cannot open windows because of the noise and the children cannot play in the yard because of the truck traffic, even using our driveway as a turnaround. How much burden can our family be expected to endure for someone else's financial gain? This development is quite literally our worst nightmare for the future of this beautiful piece of land, and for those of us that live in the neighborhood, it is just heartbreaking. I urge you to take a hard look at the significance of this home and lot and stop the development that will destroy it. I appreciate your time and consideration. Sincerely, Lauren Coughlin Unsworth, 77 Holt Street, Watertown, Mass. And I see that the pictures were put up.
They're very small, sorry, the graphic was sent through whatever the, probably a cell phone or something, so the images are, it's kind of hard to see.
I think there's 4 of them, right? There's a before demo Holt view, before demo Bridgham view, a September 2020 Bridgham view, so 3.
Yeah,
There you
there's
go.
3.
That's the September 2020 Bridgham view.
And then here's the last one. They all opened in separate things, so I have to keep switching back and forth. So it's.
We're just thankful you know what to do.
And those are all from 63 Holt. So should I want me to swap back to the original plans now, or
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
did you? I don't even know what it looks like on your side. I just know what it looks like on mine, which is this tiny little.
They
Yeah,
are small, that's true.
this one is small, but
I mean, I could probably zoom in. Oh, look at
there
that.
you go.
Oh, this is a Google Street View.
Yeah, these are all at the Holt Street project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, so that was from a butter. Is there anyone else on the Zoom who would like to comment or speak on this project?
My name is Bruce Bolton, and I live at 16 Mangano Court. I represent the property at 14 to 16 Mangano Court. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure I'm on, not muted.
Nope, you're on. We can hear you.
Okay, great. So, the concerns, I only have a couple of concerns, and one being, so we're on the back side of the property, what we have probably the western side of the property.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a drop off. Obviously, the grade goes down into our property from 15 Bridgham into Mangano Court. And also, my concern would be that I've already watched part of the wall come down through one of the bobcats who kind of was going a little bit too fast and came up to a wall and smashed it down into land. So we got, Brian came over, who's the developer of the property, and we threw some of the rocks back up there. But all I want to know is whether it gets torn down or not. That's inconsequential. I just want to know, is there going to be a barrier put up to prevent that from happening again? Because the last thing I really want is to have like a backhoe flipped over on its side, coming down, crashing onto the trees, and perhaps knocking them down or knocking them into my house. So that's about all I have. I mean, whether the project stays up, they build off of the existing, or they tear down, that's up to you folks. But I just don't want to see a lot of construction debris coming down into the yard, and I just want to make sure that that's protected. That's all. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bruce, sorry.
1 second, Brian. So I appreciate the question, Bruce, but because this is the Historical Commission, and that is not in our purview, but understandably,
Okay. Sure.
a great question as a property owner. I'm going to ask that you and Brian speak after this.
Okay.
Brian,
Sure.
if you could get in touch with Bruce and speak to him directly about the concern he has for his property,
Absolutely.
that would be great.
Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on,
You got it.
Okay.
Bruce. Yeah, are there any
Sure.
other questions from the public regarding, or any other comments from the public regarding the property? Okay, not hearing any, I'm going to close the public portion of this, and now the commissioners will discuss the project amongst themselves, and then hopefully we'll have a vote. So as I've done in the past, just going to run through our commissioners one by one as I see them on the screen. Marilyn, do you have anything you want to talk about regarding this project?
Well, I agree with the abutters letter of concern about the neighborhood being changed for the worse, especially all the trees coming down and the large buildings going up where there were small ones before, but I'm not sure. I don't think we can actually make any decisions in that direction, which is a shame, but it's not a particularly marvelous example of architecture, the ranch house, but I wish we could do more than just say that.
Okay. Thank you, Marilyn. David Russo? I know he's there. David? All right, I'll move on to Tom while David finds the unmute button. Tom, do you have anything
Okay.
you want to comment about this?
Well, I have a couple of comments. On our responsibility is related to the historic or architectural significance of the proposed change. But I do think the issues raised by the woman who wrote that letter and the man who just spoke are legitimate issues for the town to consider. And I think it would be desirable to make sure that we inform, well, I suppose might be I don't know whether it be the building department or the zoning board, that this kind of question is being raised, and so that they are aware of it, that it is not just not dropping into our inbox, because there are other agencies of the town that should be aware of these concerns. I don't know what the rules are, for instance, on number of hours when the construction can be undertaken, and the issues of the so forth. So that would be, yeah, that would be my comment on this.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. My thoughts echo Marilyn and Tom. I wish people would be more vocal for the right groups, because it's just not, there's nothing we can do here. But I mean, this is a ranch built in 1952. I see no reason why it should be preferably preserved.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Matthew?
He's muted.
Yes, he is. Matthew, oh, there you go.
Now, can you hear me? Great, thank you. Sorry, let me apologize for being late. I don't have any questions. I think you probably know how I would stand on this, that I don't think it is preferably preserved.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. And David is back. David, do you have any discussion items for this property?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Technologies, I'm sorry, is not my friend. I was speaking, but unfortunately, no one could hear me. So we're still talking about 15 Bridgham.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. So we got those building permit cards, and you see that it was built in 1952. It's obviously a ranch. It doesn't seem to have too much architectural integrity. The windows were replaced. I'm not seeing too much of historic interest myself, so I don't have a lot to say.
Okay, I think I got everybody. So if anybody wants to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the property at 15 Bridgham is not preferably preserved.
Susan, that was Joe. And does anybody
Yes,
second?
thank you.
That's 15 Bridgham. Does anybody second that motion?
I will second it.
Malone seconded it, Susan.
Yeah.
So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to do roll call now. Marilyn, in favor or against the motion?
In favor, regretfully.
Thank you. Matthew, in favor or against the motion?
Favor.
Thank you. And David, in favor or against the motion?
In favor.
And I vote in favor. So it's unanimous. All right. Thank you very much to the applicant of 15 Bridgham. And we'll move to the next item on our agenda, for which David Russo will be chairing.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. So, Mr. Leitner, are you here?
My screen just went blank.
I can see you.
We can see you. I think you have all the views. You're muted.
Can you hear me now? Good evening, board members, acting chairman Ken Leitner on behalf of Watertown Warren LLC, which is the owner of 18 Warren Street. The petitioner proposes to demolish the existing house and replace it with a two-family house. To take you back, the house, according to the records, was built in approximately 1954. Before that, the lot was owned by Nikolai Maurizio. He was sold to Josephine Fantasia in trust, I would imagine for two of her brothers. A purchase money mortgage for construction was granted in 1953, leading to the construction of the house. It was then bought in 1977 by Morrow and Margaret Ruggieri. It's been owned by them until this present year. The house is a common 1.5 story cape structure that were very commonly built in the west side of Watertown after World War II. Regarding the house itself, I've always told the board when the house is in disrepair, the house is in very good repair, but everything has been modernized, and whatever's might have been historically significant may have been replaced if it were significant at one time. It has vinyl siding. It appears to have replacement windows. The front deck is also has vinyl risers and plastic stairs. The roof has been redone with architectural shingles, and even the front door has a brand new screen door. So as far as the owners of the lot, they aren't historically significant. There was nothing in Crossroad and the Charles concerning this property. I would suggest to you that, given the nature of it being a 1.5-story cape, was the form, follow, function that would allow people to have a second story for bedrooms, but it's very prevalent throughout West Watertown. And this house, although well maintained, is not historically significant. And that's what I have, Acting Chairman Russo.
Okay, well, thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry to keep asking that question, but it's not always the case. So, fine. Do any members of the commission have any questions for Mr. Leitner? Okay. Well, I will then, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm that the members, were there any questions that anyone had? I wasn't sure if everyone was.
If you want, I can do a roll call and ask.
No, they all seem to be fine. I can see them and none of them indicated anything. One last time, I wanted to make sure since. Thank you.
I don't have
David.
any
Sorry to
questions. This is
interrupt.
Joe Panto.
Joe?
Oh, what was that, Joe?
I was just saying I don't have any questions, just to cross me off the list.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right, so now it's the opportunity for members of the public. If anyone from the public has any information for the Historical Commission to consider about the historic nature of the building or the neighborhood, now is your opportunity. And Gideon, could you sort of coordinate that, since I'm not able to see any of that?
Sure. Is there anybody that is here for that? Beverly Brackett, is that the correct name? Oh, your sound isn't working, but you're not muted. I don't know why. It was working earlier. I muted you to see if you could unmute and maybe that will trigger it. No. Do you have a phone number? Could you call using that up arrow or send us an email? Or I'm not sure. Oh, did you say something? No, that was Joe. Wonder what's wrong with it. She even logged on early to test it all.
Can she check and see if her sound is up on the that's on the actual computer monitor?
All the way up.
Oh, we could
We
just
can hear
barely
her.
hear you. Can't hear you now though. So on the up arrow on the mute, could you call in? You can actually switch to phone audio and you can call yourself. You can type your phone number in and it'll call your phone. Do you have a phone next to you? If you use the up arrow next to the mute button, it says switch to phone audio. Down on the bottom by the microphone.
I'm sorry, maybe if she hovers her mouse down by the bottom near the bottom of the screen, she may not be able to see the different functions.
Yeah, she's in full screen mode. If you're in full screen mode, there's like the bar that has like start the mute function, stop video, etc. On next to the microphone and the mute function, there's a little up arrow. And if there's not, you can also, I could get, here, I'm gonna put the agenda on and you could call that phone number and then type in your code. But there's no one else.
Worked.
It's weird, I can almost hear you now.
You can?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, but now it went away.
Should I move somewhere? Or?
Oh, yeah.
She's on
Can
top
you
of the
move?
microphone on the bottom of her computer would be my guess.
Yeah,
I don't have a microphone thing on the bottom of my computer.
we can hear you with.
You can hear, hold it just like you are now. Yep.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Well, I guess.
oh,
Cheryl, I just muted myself because of her. I have to get back now.
we can't hear you.
I'm wondering if maybe she should send an email into either Gideon or myself.
Yeah, do you have your phone number?
Yeah.
Do you have a phone?
Yes.
Call 877.
Hold on.
So, you ready? It's 877-853-5257. It's an 800 number. And it's going to ask you to put in a meeting ID. The meeting ID is 956 4811 7955. And then I think you hit pound.
And sometimes they ask for an identifier, like a participant identifier. Just hit pound again.
And I'm admitting you to the meeting now. It says it's muted. It's weird. There.
I'm unmuted.
Yep.
Oh, I can. Should I hang up?
No, that's your
Hang
up.
phone. You have to
Okay.
turn off the volume on your computer.
Oh, okay.
The speaker volume. And just hold your computer
Oh,
here. It's the speaker on your computer needs to be turned off.
Or maybe just walk into another room.
Yeah,
better?
yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. All I just wanted to say was I'm a butter. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I was just concerned about the height of the building. Like, oh my God, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I've never gotten any information that they were, except for the other day when we got the notice on our door about the historical commission, about demolishing the house, what was going to be built there. We got no information. I might be in the wrong place, but I'm just concerned about like how big the building's going to be. Is it going to be just like the one that they just built a couple of years ago?
Sure. This is David Russo. I'm the acting chair. So if you could speak maybe with Mr. Leitner after the meeting, or if there's someone else from from the owner's team that could help her understand these questions. Because this hearing isn't really an opportunity to ask questions about it from the public. It's to help us get information to know whether the house is historically significant. So, but we often hear questions such as what you have. So if Mr. Leitner, you or someone from your team could speak with the lady after the meeting, would that be okay?
That's fine.
Okay, should I give them my phone number or what? I mean, how does this work? Like, people can just buy a house and totally tear it down without anybody knowing what's going on, and then all of a sudden we get a letter from the historical commission?
Substantially, yes. People can do as a matter of right what they want with their property pursuant to our zoning laws, and our zoning laws are particularly permissive. So, unfortunately, the answer is yes.
Okay, all right. No, I'll talk to Mr. Leitner.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm just concerned about what's going on. That's all. So it's the only thing that I've heard about. So no, I'd be interested. Should I give him my phone number, or how do I go about that? I don't want to waste your time.
Mrs. Brackett, I'll leave my card at your house tomorrow.
Okay, great. Okay, great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do you know where I live?
Yes, you're in Elmwood,
Yes, 29.
29.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Sorry to bother you and take up your time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Are there any other members of the public who wish to make any comments?
Susan, can you also confirm if there was any emails that were received?
There were no emails before the meeting.
Okay, and there's no one else from the public on the actual Zoom meeting right at this moment? Just an FYI.
All right.
Gideon,
Well,
would you like me to go in and check our emails right now?
I have my email up, but yours is the one on the agenda. So yes, that, I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna duck out for one moment.
David, would you like to wait while Susan does that before we move to the next?
Yes,
Please.
we should wait.
I'm going to stop the share so everybody can see each other a little better, or some people can see each other better.
No additional emails, Gideon.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, thank you everyone for your efforts. I know it's been particularly difficult with technology, so thank you. All right, so now it's the opportunity for members of the commission to discuss what we think about the proposed demolition. So I guess I'll just I'll do what Elise does. I'll just go through the list. Tom, do you have any comments or thoughts?
To me, this is typical of a problem that we have talked about for years now. It's a perfectly decent house, a single-family house, and as Mr. Leitner said, it's even in good condition. However, I honestly don't see it as having any unusual or historic, well, certainly not historic, but no particularly unusual architectural design or anything like that that would justify asking for a demolition delay.
All right, thank you, Tom. Marilyn?
Well, it's my feeling is the same as with the other house that came before us. It's not amazing in itself, but it doesn't. The neighborhood seems to be more livable before rather than after, but not something to preserve necessarily within the limits of what we can do.
All right, thank you, Marilyn. Joe?
Yeah, this one saddens me a little bit. It's a super cute house, single family. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this home. I wish that there was a way that we could keep it. I don't see anything historical about it, unfortunately, from an architectural standpoint. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that this is where we're at.
All right, thank you. Matt?
I would agree with the sentiments expressed before me and go as far as to say that I don't think that these type of houses in general deserve to be preserved, and that I would think that this would be the kind of thing we ought to look at in terms of changing our ordinance. That I don't think that we should have to be considering these types of houses. I think it's kind of a categorically unworthy of preserving type of house.
Okay, thank you. My own comments are, we have a building permit dated March 16th, 1951, so it seems to be a bit of dissonance with with some of the material you found, but I guess we can easily say it's the early 1950s without too much difficulty. I think the architectural integrity is substantially present. There may have been a new dormer added in the rear, as I understand, maybe new windows. But it's interesting, this house is very well sited. The scale is excellent for the site. It's unfortunate that it will be lost. It'll be an example of a relatively affordable home that'll now be converted to a house that really won't be affordable to many people. So we're losing certainly a measure of architecture. It may be plentiful, but we're losing a measure of it. We're certainly losing a lot, maybe on a cultural level, in terms of affordability and the kinds of people who would be able to live there. So I certainly lament that loss. But other than that, I have no other comments. So I guess ultimately I agree with the rest of the commission grudgingly. So does anyone wish to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that the building is not preferably preserved.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a second?
I can second. This is Joe.
Okay, thank you. And let me go through the list. Tom, how do you vote?
I vote in favor of the motion.
Okay. Marilyn?
Agree, though, again, with regret.
Okay. And I'm the last, and so I also vote in favor. So the motion is unanimous.
Thank you.
Is Commissioner Lucas back?
She is.
Ah.
The magic of technology. Thank you, David. Okay.
Sure, I send it back to you.
I appreciate that. So that was the only other property on our agenda. We did the minutes in advance, waiting for some commissioners to come on. And our final item on the agenda, we're going to, I'm removing from the agenda so that will not be addressed tonight. And therefore, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
This is David. I move to adjourn.
And does anybody?
Second.
Okay, don't yell it, Marilyn. You can just say.
I third it.
Okay, there's a first, second, and a third. So I know Marilyn's in favor of it. Tom, do you support the motion?
Yes, I do.
Matthew, are you vote in favor of the motion?
I'll go along with it.
Joe?
Yes, I am in favor.
Okay, and I am also in favor. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much. But this concludes our meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.